Wonderful day. All right, so today's video, I'm talking about my actual Bitcoin account. Those in the group had told you about it. I had held on to my Bitcoin account from 9,000. I think it went, actually I got in at 10,000 and then it dropped down to like 8,500 or something like that. And what I did was I actually talked to my wife. I had a conversation with my wife and I told her what my plans are, which is one of the things you guys need to do. I'm trying to fix this lighting. I know the sunlight is coming in right there. One of the things you guys have to learn to do is have a conversation with your significant others and tell them what your plans are, you know? So what I did was I told my wife I wanted to invest a certain amount of money into Bitcoin. And so I ended up holding my Bitcoin account and I kept it and I held it and I held it and I held it. And now it's jumped from 10,000, 9,000. When I got in, it's all the way up to $41,000 a coin, okay? So why did I do that? Okay, it's the question. Why did I hold my Bitcoin so long? Because I understand a particular rule in investing, including Forex. And I'm talking to you guys about this for a reason, okay? Because when you guys are trading in the Forex market, one of your problems is that you're not finding the success because your vision of trading is too short term. Did you hear what I said? Your problem is as to why most people are losing in Forex is because your particular point of perspective is off course. In other words, you're looking, let me go through some notes. I want you guys to write these things down as I'm going through them, okay? So just write some notes down. This is going to help you with your trading. So number one, I put success comes from being able to see ahead, not just the immediate. Okay, and I'll say that again. Success comes from being able to see ahead, not just the immediate. When you're trading in Forex or Bitcoin, the same problem exists with most traders because they're looking at everything from the immediate price action perspective. You don't have a clue from the long distance how this thing could actually work out. I call it the Warren Buffett way of trading. Because if you ever listen or pay attention to how Warren Buffett actually trades, he actually trades in a way where he takes the long distance perspective. He doesn't even trade like Wall Street does, which is why he became so rich. He chose to look at things from a different perspective. When you look at trading, whether it's stocks, options, Bitcoin, or whatever, most people are scalpers or attempting to trade short term, right? But the big money people, institutions, banks, or anybody who you're trying to go against, what are they actually doing? They're actually trading from higher time frames, bigger perspectives, and they're seeing the long distance potential. And that is when they step in and start investing. Meanwhile, the retail trader is just simply trading from the immediate online. I'm saying, I just read your baby boss. I'm sorry. You messed me up. You said we online. I'm saying, you messed me up on my flow. Welcome. And welcome to all the thousands who will be watching this later. I read that comment popped up and it messed up my flow. So anyway, the point is that most investors, okay, which is what you are. You call yourself a Forex trader, but you're really an investor. But because you have such a short-term perspective on trading, that's why you're getting choppy results. They're not consistent. Now, every person who trades is going to lose some trades here or there. That's just going to happen, okay? But when you change the way you're looking at the charts, when you change the way that you're doing your analysis, and you begin to incorporate long distance investment perspective, you'll begin to see a huge turnaround in your Forex trading. By the way, those who's already in our group, I already provided you a video inside our private Telegram channel. Okay, on what, Friday? So, because I'm flying out tomorrow, you guys need to be taking a look at that because I've already given you heads up on the pairs that you need to have in your scope. Why? Because these things have potential to cough up hundreds of pips over the next week or two. And I've already given you the pairs to take a look at, the currencies to pay attention to. So if you're already in our group in the Super Easy Forex and you bought Simplicity, check the Telegram channel. I've already told you. How did I come to these perspectives? How did I hold my Bitcoin from 9,000 a coin to now, and I woke up this morning, it's 41,000 per coin. Woo! Why? Because when I look at certain things that I want to trade, I don't look at what its current potential is. I look at my charts and I take a look at the higher time frames to see what they potentially could do. So when people are coming in and they are trying to trade, majority of the people, and you and I both know this because possibly you came in with the same idea I originally did. Well, I'm going to be a scalper. I'm going to get in, get out, and you're constantly getting scalped. The market is constantly peeling your head. You're constantly losing. Now, am I against scalping? Absolutely not. Because sometimes I'll take some quick trades myself, some in and outers. But how I do it is because I understand the overall perspective of what's going on. So let me go to my notes and I want you guys to write this down again. Success comes from being able to see ahead, not just the immediate. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? Any entrepreneur who, regardless of who they are, and that's what you're trying to be as a Forex trader, you're trying to be an entrepreneur because an entrepreneur simply means you work for yourself. You are the boss, you don't have a boss. That's what it means. It's just really simple. Okay? Sounds like a real sexy term, but that's the point. So the entrepreneur or the person who is trying to be their own boss, you cannot afford to trade or whatever you're trying to do with just the immediate perspective in mind. You can't. Because you're always going to lose because circumstances change just like emotions do. So if you have that in mind, you cannot base your total, notice what I said before you beat me up. Well, what you saying? Scalping ain't working? No, I didn't say that. Scalping does work, but it cannot be the immediate only perspective. And you can debate with me and say I'm wrong, but that's okay. Check, and maybe you're the one-off person who defies logic. But how many people who trade in the Forex market or any other markets who scalp is successful? What's the ratio? But when you take a look at those who are trading longer perspectives, like banks, institutions, Warren Buffett, George Soros, who's the biggest and best Forex trader in the world, who's a billionaire. Every time I look at highly successful people, it's not to say that their time frames are better off one way or the other, but they all share one thing in common. They have a higher time frame perspective, and then they drill down, go into the immediate, into where they're going to execute. But they don't start with executing first, which is what scalpers do. You start looking at the charts from the 5 minute to 1 minute, and that's all you see. But you have no clue what's going on with the bigger perspective. So you don't associate the long distance with the short distance. They're like two separate parties to you, and that's why you're getting beat up. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So, number two, you have to learn the perspective of trading with what I call the in and out. The out and in strategy. That means you start by looking out at the higher time frames, the bigger perspectives, and then you drill down to the entries that you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you do it from that perspective, you'll understand, watch this, you don't even understand whether this is a good trade that you should hold for a while or whether you should even consider scalping it. A lot of the trades that I do, and I know a lot of people come in because they want to scalp, and that's fine. But the bigger money and the bigger pips is in the hold. When you understand how the holding the trade, like some of these trades that I'm going to be getting into, I'm going to be holding for quite several weeks. I've already designated one of my accounts to where when I place these trades, ain't no need to even looking at them because they're going to potentially cough up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pips per trade. Why? Because what I did, I took a look at the higher time frame. And now I understand what price action is going to be doing. So on this week, I'll just simply be looking for entries. And then after that, I'm gone. I'm done for the week. Period. 5 or 10 minutes worth of work. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Next. Bigger time frames, write this down. Bigger time frames equals less problems, okay? Bigger time frames equals less problems. Even if you're a scalper or a short-term trader, day trader, whatever, it's no problem. But when you incorporate the higher time frames, you'll have far less problems when you drill down. Now, in our course, and when I'm teaching week after week, I show you exactly how to do that. I'm just giving you generalities, okay? But if you do want to join us in the 10 class, I will be teaching you exactly how to do that. We actually have a certain strategy that's in the tutorials to show you one of our strategies that we use that clocks a lot of pips. Low risk, high reward. Because we incorporate both. I teach both. Because when I first started joining in Forex and investment trading and all these different things, which I've traded stocks, I've traded options, Bitcoin, Forex, property, real estate, you know, it's all the same thing. But I tell you this, the problem is that the people who come in, and let me say this and just be very transparent and honest, because this is just a phenomenon that it's very rare. The truth of the matter is, when you're an investor in real estate, just watch what I'm saying. Even if you're going to flip the property and not keep it, you can get what's called a quote unquote hard money loan. That means that the interest rate is going to be very high, but to get the loan is very easy to get because it's just basically going to a hard money lender, not a regular bank. They'll lend you the money as long as they can see the value in the property, right? And so they'll lend you the money at a higher interest rate. But you're going to rush and fix that property up and try to flip it as quickly as possible. Why? Because you know you're on a timer. So you're going to move quicker, right? But even with that, in real estate, which is fast paced in if you're talking about scalping, because flipping property is like scalping in Forex, okay? You got to move quickly, okay? But even in that, all perspectives is you stopping, you're taking a look at the long-term potential, how much money, if I do get this hard money loan, I got to pay higher interest rates, I'm going to have to quickly fix it up. But at the end of the day, how much potential money can I make? So you still start out looking at from the distance, how much can this make overall before I buy the property, before I get the hard money loan, before I do that? See how even in investing, no matter which way you look at it, big time investors, we all look at it from back here first before we get down in here. However, in Forex, it's different. It's different. In Bitcoin traders, it's different. You're scalping Bitcoin and you're losing. I can't tell you how many people was trying to short Bitcoin and now they're just out of money, blown accounts. Because they're still trying to do the same thing they do in Forex. If I tell you to trade stocks and I say, okay, let's get into this stock. Let's get into this one. Let's get into this one. You automatically know for the most part that you're going to be holding it for some time. But it's only in Forex when you think, okay, let me hurry up. Forex and binary options. I used to trade binary options and I used to teach binary options. And those are the only two that people coming in with the mindset of in and out, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, give me my money, give me my money. And if you tell them that you have to hold it for a few days, they're like, what? What? No. The problem is that the real money and the easier money and the bigger pips are in the long-term perspective. And so you got to ask yourself a question. When are you going to wake up? You've been at this for how long and you're still losing? You know about how many indicators and you're still losing? When are you going to get mentored out of your madness? And I'm not trying to put you down, but I'm telling you the truth because I wasn't stuck in that cycle too. Until I realized I need to be mentored out of my madness. I really need to be quote unquote brainwashed out of my foolishness because I keep repeating the same thing week after week, thinking buying a new indicator was going to solve it. We sell indicators, but the simplicity system, what's neat about it, why we have so many people in our group who's now highly successful, is not just because of the simplicity system, but because of the teaching they get so that they understand how to apply and when to apply buying those arrows. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a 1-2 punch. So you can't just, everybody's buying these holy grails of indicators and they're still failing. When are you going to stop? I mean, tell yourself the truth. Have you been a victim of that? And now you're crying and you're frustrated But yet you keep repeating the same thing every week. You buy a new indicator, you put more money in your account, and there you go. You're off to the races and you're still losing. Week after week after week after week after week. Come on now, that's the truth. I was stuck in that cycle too. That's how I know. I know, it's the truth. I wasn't being mentored. I just thought the indicators were giving me everything I needed, and they can't. They can't. You have to have indicators or a trading system with mentoring. And when you get them both, you'll learn how big investors execute using software, using trend lines, using momentum indicators, RSIs, all that other stuff you've been using. When you apply it with the right investment perspective, then you see a change. But until then, you're just going to keep running around in circles. And this video here about how I made a lot of money on my Bitcoin is one of the biggest reasons why. Because you're not being taught that it's okay to scale back and take a bigger perspective. Let me leave you guys with this. Let me do it like this. I'm going to leave you guys with this one. I went to school for news and broadcasting. Okay. And one of the people who's in our group actually stays in Brazil. And he works for ESPN. Okay. And he's in our group. And so when I'm teaching classes and he comes on, I enjoy talking with him because it's kind of like he's the only other person who really understands what I teach as far as from the broadcasting perspective, because he comes from that perspective. So we can talk shop together. He understands what I'm saying. So when I teach the concept to the class, they love it. But he's the one person who understands it 100%. Why? Because he's on camera too. He's a reporter for ESPN. So what I teach and taught them in the group is that when I was in news and broadcasting school, one of the biggest things they have always taught is this: don't you ever get on camera and not understand the full story that you're going to report before the camera comes on. What does that mean? That means you better have had all the facts gathered and understand the bigger perspective of this, that, and the other before the camera comes on. Don't you dare get in front of that camera. Well, I got the camera on and I got a mic. I'm just going to spit. I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to go from the dome, bro. You'll lose your job. Why? Because they want you to understand the whole perspective before you drill down to what the actual event is. Because if they ask you a question about, well, what caused this event, you better have an answer. Because you better have researched it before you came on the camera to talk about the actual situation that is currently happening. So how does that translate into Forex? You don't understand the bigger perspective of what's really going on in the Forex world. You don't understand how price action really works and who's manipulated. You don't understand the right times to get into the market. That's why you keep jumping in the market and getting slapped upside your head, and only to wake up the next day and realize you were always correct, almost 100% correct on your analysis, but you still keep losing. Why? Because you don't understand the bigger perspective, how the game players are playing the game against you, your broker's playing games against you, the market is going against you. All these forces are going against you, but all you see is you looking at your 5-minute charts, your 1-minute charts, trying to scalp, and you keep getting beat up because you don't have the whole story. You don't understand the whole picture. You only got a piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Let me give it to you one more way with jigsaw in mind. When you're looking to buy a jigsaw puzzle out the store, the biggest thing that you should never do is throw away the box after pouring the pieces on the table. Did you hear what I said? The biggest thing you should never do when putting a jigsaw puzzle together is to throw away the box. Now you say, well, what did that have to do with Forex? I'm glad you asked. Here's the reason why. When you pour the pieces out of a jigsaw puzzle onto the table, the most important part was not the jigsaw pieces that are cut up in all these funny shapes. It's the box, because the box tells you what the end product is supposed to look like. So as you're picking up these pieces, or your children are picking up these individual pieces and trying to put the pieces together, they have a roadmap to see, okay, well, based on the picture and the colors of this piece, this should go in the top corner. But based on this piece and looking at the box, that should go in that piece. See how, because you have that picture, The bigger picture of the finished product before you get started. You see how you're able to finish that jigsaw puzzle, whether it's a 25 piece, 100 piece, or 1,000 pieces. If you have 1,000 pieces, the only thing that's going to be different is the amount of time it's going to take you to reach your destination. And that's the same way in Forex. It's just a matter of time before you reach success. It's just a matter of time. But the problem is that you're not getting the whole picture. You don't understand what these brokers are doing to you. That's why when you jump in, which I'm telling you, you better be glad you're listening to me. There is a reason why I'm telling you, don't ever take trades on a Sunday when the market open. Don't ever take trades on Sunday when the market opens. Let me say it one more again to make sure you heard me. Don't ever do that. Now, if you want to learn why, you got to join our group. But even so, without joining, just take my advice. Don't ever do that because your broker is going to kill your account. Have you ever traded on a Sunday and found out that your account got blown that day? That day, the same day you put the money in, you was, market's finna open in a few minutes. And then before Sunday is over, your account is empty. There's a reason for that. So you don't understand the bigger perspective. You only got your 5-minute chart. You got one little jigsaw piece of the puzzle. Oh, I'm finna make some money. You only got one piece, partner. Well, how about the new indicator? Okay, now you got 2 pieces. You got your money in the account and you got a piece of the jigsaw, and you're still getting slaughtered week after week after week, month after month after month, year after year after year. When is it going to stop? I learned to stop what I was doing. I stopped my madness. And therefore, it didn't matter whether I was trading Forex, whether I'm trading stocks, whether I'm trading options, or whether I'm trading Bitcoin. Doesn't matter. I learned. And so now Bitcoin, as of this morning, last time I looked at it, was at 41,000 a coin. But I got in when it was at 9,000. I got in there with 10,000. One more thing. Watch what happened, because this is also some of you guys. So the coin, when I got in, it was around 10,000. Actually, when I got in, something around there, 10,000 and some change, I think it was. And it's kind of like your brokers do. Have this ever happened to you? It's like as soon as you got in, the markets went against you. It just started dropping in the wrong direction. And so the coins dropped from 10,000 down to, I think, 8,000 and some change or something like that. And when you're in the trade, you feel horrible. You be like, man, did I make a mistake? But here's what I did, partner, because I have a long-term perspective. I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave it alone. Hell or high water, I'm going to leave this alone, and I'm going to trust my analysis. And so all it was a fake pullback. And then the thing shot to 11,000. Oh, I was happy. Then it went to 13,000. I was like, oh, Jesus. Hey. And then I left it alone a couple of more weeks, and now this thing is at $41,000 a coin. So when I look back on when I was tripping, because when I got in at 10, it started dropping down to 8. And like many of you guys, because you keep tampering with your trade, you keep messing with it instead of just leaving it alone. Why? Because you have this short-term perspective, not the bigger picture. So even having a bigger picture perspective will also teach you when to just leave the freaking thing alone. Don't climb out your trade yet. How many times have you jumped out of a trade because you're like, oh, it's starting to go against me? Did it hit your stop loss? No, but it was going against me. So you jump out of the trade only to find out the next day or two you was absolutely right. Do you see what I'm saying? So now I'm learning, leave my stuff alone. Trust my analysis. If you leverage the right amount, let it roll. If it hits the stop loss, okay, that comes with the business. You're going to lose some trades here or there. It's just the nature of the business, especially during that huge, rocky, turbulent political time of turmoil and COVID-19. It's nothing personal. It's just a lot of stuff going on. So nothing personal. But when you look at how things are turning around and you go to the higher time frame, you can kind of see what's going on. Do you get what I'm saying, people? One more. So make sure y'all done. Okay, we done with this one. I fly a lot, and I'm flying out tomorrow. Okay, and thank you for those who supported us during our loss. We lost our baby sister, so Thank you for your support. So I got to fly out tomorrow. And my wife is actually downstairs as we speak, talking to her husband, encouraging him. He's brokenhearted. Where we have to fly into, I don't like it, because almost every single time there's turbulence as the plane is going through the clouds. Watch this. Like you're trading. Like you're trading. It's in turbulence. Your accounts are always getting cremated. Okay. If you want to know the perfect time frames, you got to join us. I told you I ain't gonna give everything away for free on here. Okay. I'll teach you time frames, and more importantly, the timing of day to enter the trades, the best times to enter them too. So you got to join for everything. I can't give you everything, bro. I love you, Wayne, but can't give you everything. But let me finish this and let y'all go. One of the things that a pilot will do when you're flying on the plane and they're going through too much turbulence, the first thing they'll do is say, they politely tell you, sit your butt down, don't be walking around my plane, and put a seatbelt on because we finna go through some turbulence. So they're telling you to prepare. Hello, Ghana in the house. Hey, thank you, thank you. What up, John? But after they sit you down, they talk to the tower. And the tower says, climb up several more thousand feet. And so you'll see that the plane, which is shaking and turbulence and going through problems, you'll notice that it begins to climb higher and higher and higher and higher. And then if you wait just a little while and you get done with all the shaking and the bumps and, that's what it'll be doing. And your stomach is like you're on a roller coaster. But then all of a sudden, if you just be patient with the pilot, okay, I don't know why it stopped. If you just be patient with the pilot, you'll notice that then you'll come out of those clouds and you'll begin to hit blue skies. And then what's nice about being in that situation is because the very clouds that was causing you turbulence and all the shaking and bumping, you're now sitting so high up in the skies until you're looking down on the clouds from the plane. So the plane perspective, you're looking at pure blue skies. But if you look down, you'll see the clouds that cause that turbulence. So in Forex, it's the same thing. Matter of fact, in life, if you hang in there and start going to the higher times, higher places, and looking down at things, you'll see that the very thing that was causing you so much turbulence and problems, you can get a better perspective of it because now you see that it's below. So when I'm going from a higher time frame and I'm looking for trades, I'm going to start with my higher time frame perspective, and then I'm going to drill down to the lower. I'm not going to go the other way. Or as some of you guys have been doing, you only look at your 1 minute and 5 minute time frames. So therefore, you don't have a clue what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You don't look at news events, which as I teach that too. So you just took a trade right before a news event was going to happen. See, again, that's part of that bigger time frame perspective, getting all the facts before you jump into a trade. You don't do that. You just jump right in. You hear me? Kenya in the house, Ghana in the house. Welcome, you guys. All right. Well, anyway, I hope this video helped. Now you understand why I held my Bitcoin, which, by the way, I'm still holding my Bitcoin. I may take a little bit out, but from my perspective and from bigger investors, I have heard that Bitcoin potentially may go even to 100,000 per coin. So if I got in at 9 or 10,000, I got in at 10,000, 9,000 a coin, and now it's at 41,000 a coin. And because of its limited supply, that's why Bitcoin is in such high demand. It's only limited, I think, to 21 million coins, period. Okay, that's all, that's it. When it's gone, it's gone. Unlike the US dollar, where if you run out of money, they just print more. And when you do that with most paper money, they call it fiat currency. The problem is it loses its value. In other words, you can have a diamond, okay? You can have a diamond. And what makes a diamond expensive is because it's you can't just go find it on your front lawn. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? So if a diamond was found like rocks on everybody's front lawn, then diamonds wouldn't be as expensive as they are. They'll be a lot cheaper. Why? Because they're easy to get, just like the US dollar and other currencies around the world. Bitcoin is not like that. There will only be, I think, 21 million to 25 million Bitcoin available, period. And when it's over, it's over. And that is what makes it so valuable. Okay? So for me, I got in at such a great price. What should I do? Take a little bit maybe off the table and let the rest roll. Call it a day. Let's see if it goes to 100K per coin. Number two, because of a higher time frame perspective, I also knew that digital currency was going to be the wave of the future. It's going to be soon where we're not going to be exchanging dollars and credit cards and all these different things. We're going to be doing digital money anyway. One of the reasons why is because, and this is unfortunate, but the government will easily be able to, your government will be able to easily track all of your transactions. Now, I heard that they're going to be coming out with their own, and I won't get into this because I don't want to be hunted down, because a lot of times they watch people's videos. So you think you ain't nobody paying attention to you. They are. So I ain't going to say this, but from bigger investors who I've heard from, the governments, which China has already been working on theirs, okay? But in the US, I've heard about a meeting that they had with MIT guys already. That already happened months ago or quite some time ago, where they met with MIT and all these different things. So I do know that eventually, possibly, that our currency money is going to be gone. And we're going to be translating and switching over to digital currency anyway, which, by the way, a lot of people said we're already kind of there already. I mean, how many actual people do transactions with dollar bills unless you're in the hood areas? You understand what I'm saying? When you're in hood areas, yeah, you got to have some dollar bills. But other than that, you use your credit card or you just make payments online. So pretty much we're already there. They've already conditioned us to be there. So now the wave of the next phase is to phase out the actual tangible dollars and translate into something that is online. Why? Because they can control you better. Okay, and I'll just leave it at that. Again, I don't want them coming after me like they're coming after other people who are saying things and running their mouth. I like my life. I live quietly. I'm cool. I love doing my videos to a point to help me out, but I ain't ready to have my whole life thrown upside down like some of these other cats because they're talking too much. I'll just leave it at that. Okay? All right, you guys. I'm done. Have a great week in your trading. Hopefully this video helped. Bye.